Guys, I'm Brandon from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about exercise called the hex bar jump versus bands. This is a great way to develop lower body power. It's not overly complicated. You will need to have an athlete that is relatively experienced with plyometrics and some strength and conditioning methods because this is a little bit more on the advanced side. So what you're going to need is a hex bar and a way to hook some bands up. So these platforms are great. You can get them from Rogue, Titan, a couple different distributors. They've already got band pegs on them, so you can literally just pull them over. I personally use mini bands and about nothing else. I guess if I had, an NFL combine guy that's jumping dang near 40 inches, sure I might grab some monster mini bands and add a little bit more weight. But really the goal is here to create as much force as possible into the ground. So if you're somebody that's not a big fan of Olympic lifts, this might be a great way to get this very similar training effect that Olympic lifts provide without having to deal with the nuances of teaching the Olympic lifts, like the full triple extension, the catch, keeping it close, all the positions. I can understand why that might be complicated for some, or if you're very limited on training time. You've got 6-8 weeks to get an athlete ready. You may not want to spend the time to teach them the Olympic lifts. You can immediately throw them in here and immediately get results and help them on their next step and on their next journey. So what you're going to want is probably the high handles, and the main reason for that is because that's going to mimic more of the athletic position. Hips high over knees. We're going to be able to be in like a jump stance is the easiest way I like to coach it. We're going to be in a jump stance, and obviously we're going to land in a land stance, which is going to be a little bit wider. We're going to let the weight stop each time and then jump again. So here we go here. Basically like a conventional deadlift, but we want to really focus on the jump portion. So here, okay, obviously I'm not getting very far off the ground, right? So the bar is 55, plus I've got 10 kilos in total. So I've got 35 kilos on here, that's 77 pounds, plus the band. I got well over 100 pounds here that I'm trying to jump with. That'd be like me going over and grabbing a 100-pound dumbbell and seeing how I can jump. So again, that's why I said it's kind of important that we find this with athletes that got some kind of advanced training, because if they got very low training age, they're probably not going to get off the ground, right? We just need to develop overall strength and some plyometrics. Those athletes will be good. For your advanced guys, this is a great way on that force velocity curve to really get away from just all the body weight stuff, put some load on them, and really kind of get in that strength speed area rather than spend so much time in the speed strength. And you kind of figure out why, because we got some weight here, so therefore we're gonna be more in the strength speed. So we're gonna be like moving heavy weights fast rather than moving light weights fast. Hopefully that makes sense, right? So the lighter the weight is, the faster you're gonna be able to move it. Now, if this was my deadlift, so let's say I've got it like this, the bar is continuing to go. It's too light for my deadlift, right? So I'm way too far on that force velocity curve of moving too fast for the given exercise that I want, right? So we were trying to get further down to where that weight's heavier on that force velocity curve when we go sideways, right? So I'm sorry, you got your force really high up here, and as you go down, your force you're going to create is going to be less and less and less because the weight's not as heavy. So we're obviously trying to be kind of in that middle portion of the force velocity curve, if you've ever seen it. Some people also say you've got your strength speed, your speed strength, and your power. If you really want to split hairs, to me this would probably fall in that power-based lump of the force velocity curve. So now that I've rambled on about science, showed you how to do it, how would you program this? Personally, I like this for reps of 3 to 5. I want the athlete doing more than one rep. By all means, you could go kind of West Side style, dynamic effort method, and perform 1 or 2 jumps for 10 or 12 sets. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. That's probably a great place to teach people how to do stuff and really kind of acquire some volume and stay on them in terms of the time stuff. However, I really like it for about sets of 3 to 5 repetitive jumps, and this is a great exercise to do some French contrast-based work with, right? So the nice thing is, you could easily have a heavy deadlift over here, you could have your hex bar jump here, and then you can literally have your band assisted jumps over there. So you're literally gonna hit your super heavy stuff, you're gonna hit your speed, and then your band assisted stuff, and it's gonna make you feel like you're just freaking jumping out of the roof, right? That can be a great training tool and a benefit of an exercise like this, on top of, like I kind of mentioned, just not doing the Olympic lifts because you either don't have the time or you don't want to worry about having to teach the complexities of the lift. You can get a lot of the same bang for your buck here. Now, you could certainly do this exercise repetitively where you're constantly going. I mentioned how I like to stop between each rep like I showed. However, if you do want to continue to jump, you're just going to have to basically go again. So you're going to be here, So notice how I never let the weight touch the ground, right? I still landed in a good athletic position. So we're gonna teach our athletes with that how to resist that force down, because I'm having to stop it, right? It's clearly not hitting the ground. I gotta stop the weight. And then we're gonna build that reversal speed. So if you're trying to build tendon elasticity, that would be a great way to do this exercise without letting it come to the ground. If you're looking at rate at force development, start with the ground on each one, because they're gonna have to create that force, push off the ground, jump as high as they can, and stop each time. So find what your athlete needs. Got that really springy dude, probably doesn't necessarily need the tendon strength. They probably already got that. Give them the rate of force development. You got that guy that always looks like doesn't have that springiness. You know, he can jump out of the building, but if you kind of ask him to do more than one jump, he kind of looks like he's stuck on the ground. Building that tendon elasticity can be great for those athletes, and that's where you just wouldn't have them touch the ground. So I think that covers enough of it, rambled enough. Got any questions, leave them in the comment section. Thanks, have a great day.